You see this mosque? They want to build a mosque near Ground Zero, and everyone's getting all, what's the word, racist about it. And my thing is fine. Let's stop them from building the mosque near Ground Zero. And then can we also not let them build any Catholic churches near any elementary schools? That's...
Hi, happy Sunday and welcome to Atheist Church. Today I would like to talk about the so-called Ground Zero Mosque. There are many people who would rather the Muslims did not build a cultural center, which does include a mosque, 3 blocks away from where the World Trade Center stood before the 9/11 attacks. This is ridiculous to me. The Muslims did not do this. This was done by a militant group of people who are Muslim, but to indict all Muslims for this, including American Muslims, who also took a great loss on that day, these citizens of our country where we have religious freedoms, and then indict them for this attack, which is what you're doing when you say that they shouldn't be allowed to build their cultural center 3 blocks away from it, in the shadow of the World Trade Center, is how I heard it put. And then people say to me, okay, so they have a right to build it, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Why do they have to do it there? It's a slap in our face. It's not a slap in your face. Again, they didn't do it. And for them to say that they shouldn't be welcome in that neighborhood, that they didn't suffer with the rest of America, is an indictment. It is them entering a guilty plea on this attack. When Timothy McVeigh blew up the Oklahoma City building, did anyone say that Christians, which he professed to be, should not be allowed to build a church anywhere near that building? I don't think that that was the case. What's really upsetting me isn't that the Tea Party and Sarah Palin are coming up with this line, but how many people are going along with it? Not a big surprise to me that Pat Kendall, who I see as an Islamophobe, yes, I do use that word, and I do believe it exists. Islamophobia isn't a concern and a rational fear of Islam that would be the same as the fear you have of Christianity and Judaism, but it's when you apply a different set of standards to Islam, and it becomes an irrational fear, where peaceful Islam is seen as something that can't exist. I could do a whole separate video on that one, and I'm going to try and keep from getting carried away. But I'm very disappointed to see even Sam Harris come out and say that it would be a symbol of victory for Islam in the world if they were allowed to build this cultural center. You know what I think is a symbol that I'm more concerned with is that it would be a symbol of Americans being willing to give up civil liberties out of fear. That I think is a bigger problem. And if there's one thing that the radical Islamic population would want, it's for us here in America to divide ourselves up and to make the Muslims here, who are peaceful Muslims, because Muslims, there's millions of them, and they are a very wide, diverse group of people. I have Muslim friends who would never, ever be violent towards anyone. So to make us divide ourselves from them and indict them in this and treat them poorly, that's perfect. That's exactly what radical Islam would love to see. The other thing is that there's the excuse of it being 3 blocks from the World Trade Center. But this is happening elsewhere. In Temecula, California, where my little brother lives, he's getting flyers inviting him to come protest a mosque that's being built there. In California, you can't get much further within this country from the September 11th attacks than that. And in the flyer inviting him to come... My little brother's a Christian, by the way. The flyer inviting him to protest the Temecula mosque asked him to bring his Bible and to wear his patriotic colors, because nothing's more Christian and patriotic than oppressing someone else's religious freedoms. What? So this is going on all over the place, and it is prejudice, it's bigotry. The great humorist Will Durst, a hero of mine, said it best. There's only one halfway decent reason why a mosque should be allowed to be built so close to Ground Zero. It's called the First Amendment. Ever heard of it? And the many Christians that are opposed to this mosque stop and realize that you may think all Muslims look alike. You may think that they're all just one group and they're all guilty of any crime committed by any one of them. But us atheists could just as easily say that about all religions. And I think have a stronger argument. Maybe your kind of religious bigotry is more a cause of September 11th than Islam. So maybe it's you that we would like to keep away. How about all religion, just stay away from it? Or we have an open playing field where any people can exercise their freedoms within this country. But it's 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks away from the World Trade Center bombing. Where is that line? Where's that imaginary line where it's, it's just such a weak excuse. So, I don't see it as a complicated issue. That's the amazing thing to me. When the Tea Party and Sarah Palin first started piping up about it, I said, well, this will blow over quickly. They're just making themselves look like idiots. But it's getting bigger and bigger. And someone said that when Obama came out and said, of course they can build their mosque. I felt like he was the mayor of Springfield dealing with the idiots in his constituency and saying, of course they can build the mosque. How is there even an argument against it? Some people are saying it's the worst public relations slip that he's made so far in his presidency, that it's going to hurt him more than anything else he's done. Wow, that's amazing. For shame. For shame to everyone who is jumping aboard this. And it's just, I'm embarrassed. I'm absolutely embarrassed to see my country behaving in such a way. So I hope the mosque does get built. And the next time I'm in New York, I hope I have a chance to go and take a tour of it. I'm sure I'll meet some very nice, friendly people who I will think are irrational and insane, but people I would just as soon have move into my neighborhood, and I would just as happily call them my neighbors as any other church that wanted to move in. And if this is anything like the last time I was seen as defending Islam, which is not at all what I'm doing here, I'm sure that the comment section is going to be loads of fun. So see you there. Thanks, Atheist Church, for this week. We'll see you next week. And lest I forget, comedy clip of the week. Please enjoy this wonderful clip from Jim Jeffries, who I did get to see live recently, who started his set with 15 minutes of atheist vitriol, just to completely lose as much of his audience as he possibly could, and then instantly got them back and had an awesome, awesome night of comedy. The man is amazing. So please enjoy this atheist comedy clip of the week featuring Jim Jeffries.